right, welcome back. We got Bad Movies, Worst People, and the movie Cast a Deadly Spell.
I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm confused.
But you already said this is Bad Movies,
Worst People.
I'm confused.
That's not how I was going to start it, but she did the whole thing.
It's pretty much how I was this entire movie.
I like it.
I was just going to be like, welcome back, see?
See? 1948. Everyone uses magic.
Did you know everyone uses magic?
That was how I was
Everyone.
supposed to start it.
Then start it.
It's too late. You already did it.
All right, well, keep bitching about
Yeah,
it.
because I
then.
mean we're on very a finite amount of reel.
Yeah.
We can't just re-record stuff ever.
We are on a time
This
limit.
is going live.
Yeah.
Is this going live?
Oh, we're
Yeah,
live
we're
streaming?
live streaming.
Oh, shit.
Fuck!
All right.
Watch your fucking mouth.
No
Quit
cussing.
Quit cursing.
So wait, are we restarting or not? I'm
No,
so
let's just
confused
keep
now,
going.
too.
Let's
All
just
right.
keep going.
What's the rub here? I'm gonna punch you in the mush. We're gonna have to figure out who fingered you. You fucking dame.
Are you fingering me?
I'm just a straight cop that likes some good cock and ball.
I'm going to finger you.
Who's fingering who? What's the rub? I got
We're
a couple
back,
of Johnny
everybody.
sticks from the man Jake down the street. The fat man says right at midnight. Let's shoot the moon. Tell the man it's time to shoot the moon.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Cast a Deadly Spell from 1991, HBO original programming.
You can tell this was the 90s, especially by some of the wordage used, because it was 90s trying to pretend to be the 40s.
You pretend to be the 40s. Oh, pig shit for me.
Oh,
Heard a bit of my vernacular.
we could have used you in this movie.
Could have, dude. Pig shit could have punched it up, but where was the poop?
The mud from the exploding at the end.
Oh,
It turns out I'm often asking, where's the poop?
I could easily supply that. Got all kinds of poop that looks like pig shit.
It looks like pig shit, and it's not actually pig shit.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Your Honor, I answered the question. It looks like pig shit.
So I'm slightly confused because according to IMDb, this is rated R.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, like, I was like, well, it's a TV movie, but, like, it's HBO. They were still trying to be real movies.
Yeah.
But also, why R?
Finger quote scary. I mean,
Language?
oh, you know what? There
Banging
is
virgins?
some blood though. You get
Oh, yeah.
the paper cuts bloody as
Yes.
shit. The lesser demon in the kitchen. I'm saying these like they're normal. And
The,
then
the
punching-
vagina
the-
punch.
The gargoyle punch through the fucking dude that was dressed up like a woman, like punched right in the gine. So there's a lot of blood.
Okay. I guess that is pretty violent at points. Or,
I mean, it's
or
not-
goopy.
Not by our standards,
Yeah.
but I mean, 91. I guarantee you, I wouldn't been allowed to watch this if we could afford cable. There was no chance of that in my house.
My
This
stepdad.
wasn't on one of your 10,000 VHS tapes recorded off
It
HBO?
promotes Satan.
Oh, Satan's a bad guy. Well, it's not Satan. It's the Elder Gods. Or no, the
Cthulhu.
Outsiders. They
It's-
don't say the Elder Gods.
Yeah.
It's Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And whatever vagina monster came out at the end
That was a naked
with the turtle dick tongue.
turtle, just very gloopy and gloppy. I do like a lot of the creature work in this.
That's the best
You know
part
what?
of the movie.
Yes.
Is there somebody famous, like a Beekler involved or something? Because
Not
I very much enjoyed it. I wanted to know if it was a famous name doing the
Oh, the puppeteering.
yeah,
Okay.
and even to an extent some of the sets. Our
Okay.
friend Matt Painting is working again.
Oh.
That's who I call the guy that does the matte paintings.
Oh yes.
I hadn't watched this before we all watched it together, so I didn't know that it had cool special effects.
So you didn't get the
But
411, the
no,
skinny?
but
You didn't
I
get
just,
the facts,
just
just the facts?
glancing, I don't see anybody,
Okay.
but it did look cool.
Yeah. It's done very well for, what did you say, 91?
91.
Yeah.
This could have
Dude,
easily been a time of
this is
cheesy.
Better CG than some shit we saw come out.
I don't think we saw any CG.
No,
There was a
really-
little
there was-
fading and
There was no CG. There was effects.
There's
but
camera
there was
tricks
no
and
CG.
shit, yeah.
so you're right, camera tricks, but like her disappearing down the hallway. I just
Oh, yeah,
watched
yeah, yeah.
Charmed, and that was 2005, and they still couldn't get a person
But
walking down
CW
the
That's
hallway.
because they were using computers in 2005.
Okay.
Whatever computers or WB could
Oh,
afford.
WB. So WB in 2005 is 91 HBO. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the computers at my high school were better than the computers that the WB in 2005 was using for special effects.
Where do you think they got that work done? Your high school.
I wasn't in high school in 2005, but you know what I mean.
They got
You
interns,
were just
dude.
barely out of high school.
Excuse me. I was an adult.
You graduated in 04.
I'm calling bullshit. You're not an adult now.
Thank you. Are you
But-
saying I married a child?
Yes.
A man-child?
Kind of like this movie. So
Was he a virgin?
No.
this was directed by a guy named Martin Campbell, who directed movies that people know.
Okay. As in?
I'm not going to say good movies, but movies people know.
Throw them at us.
I picked out what you were putting down when you said it that way.
First off, the one I have listed is No Escape, which is Ray
Oh,
Liotta. That
now.
movie's awesome.
Hold on,
I'm
wait.
about to get
Are
full
you saying-
Pacino. Now we're talking.
Are you
Yeah.
saying no escape or Noah escape?
No Escape.
Okay.
It's a new virtual reality game. You're Noah, and it's no escape. You've got to build a. Wait, no, he doesn't build an ark. Oh, he does. I'm thinking of Moses.
Yeah,
you got
Noah's
to
the one
build
with
an
the
ark
ark.
and escape the flood. No escape.
Ooh, I'd
It's an
play
action RPG.
I'd play it.
it. I would play it.
Somehow it's got Russell Crowe.
He also directed Goldeneye, which is the best James Bond movie.
So you've said.
That's not a high bar.
No, and that's what I'm
But-
saying. It's like I don't know the other ones.
The best James Bond or the best Pearson?
No,
Best
he's
James
saying
Bond.
Well, you're
I
also
think.
talking about a character that I know. I don't know about you, but him and I don't give a shit about Bond movies.
I love that you didn't correct me on his name
Yeah.
because I said Pearson.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, that's just shortening it up. That's just wordsmithing, baby.
That's- Exactly.
You're just doing. You're
Jack's
doing.
job
You're
here.
doing the Lorne Michaels work.
I am. Saturday night.
Saturday Night Live.
He also directed The Mask of Zorro and The Legend of Zorro.
I like the first
Okay,
one.
I saw.
Vertical Limit, which we've talked about recently.
I mean, we can't
Have
touch
we-
that dial then.
Have we?
Yeah.
I've watched that with you. haven't
No,
we?
we did not watch it.
Oh.
We talked about
we've
it.
been talking about it quite a bit. I
Chris-
even
No, we
text
did
you
Drop
guys.
Zone.
Chris O'Donnell,
Scott Glenn, Bill Paxton, Robert Tunney,
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
and maybe
Tamara
somebody
Morrison.
else. Yeah,
Shocker,
Tams.
guys. Husband makes me watch a lot of stuff.
nuh-uh. He also directed 2000, I think 11 or 2009. 2011 sounds right. Green Lantern with
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Like you said, movies people know.
You know what? I saw that movie in theaters,
Same.
and I remember leaving and being like, "That was amazing." Also, right before I went, my brother and I smoked the most weed I think I've ever smoked in my life at one time.
You were trying to overdose.
So like I went into this movie and I don't remember getting there, but I remember leaving and being like, that was amazing. And I
Yeah.
bought it on Blu-ray and I finally watched it like 3 years after I bought it. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is this?
I got to get a bunch more weed again. I did
So-
that to, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted a newer movie, Blue Beetle. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I went and saw it in the theaters, just fucking baked. I took a fucking 100 milligram and went and watched it. I was like, man, this is great. George Lopez is funny. He's not, and it wasn't.
Did we see Blue Beetle?
No.
You're welcome.
Take some
It's
mushrooms.
got that
and-
kid from Cobra Kai
I
and
know who
George
it's got.
Lopez
I know who it's
and
got.
a woman who
Yep.
looks like George Lopez.
Uh-huh.
That's just George Lopez.
Okay.
Just kidding.
He also directed Casino Royale, which people like. I never watched it. The new Casino Royale, not the original.
The
Casino
one with
Royale.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig.
And it was written by a guy named Joseph Doherty, who also wrote. Then there was a sequel. He didn't write anything, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I was like, wait, did I miss something?
He might
know.
have written something in there, but I didn't write anything down because I was like, this doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was this and
I
that.
think this might be it.
You said Doherty, and now I want to say Rest in Pictures Shannon.
I wonder if there's any
No.
relation.
That's why it was popped in my head.
Yeah.
I do want to say it. Yeah, she was.
I said, oh.
Oh, I thought you said no. And it's like, fuck you.
It's not that heartless.
Yeah, no, she's on Beverly Hills.
She
I
was
like
the
that show.
'90s bad bitch.
Yeah,
She was in Mallrats. I like that.
Yeah, she was in charge.
She sure was. For at least one season before they replaced her
3.
with Marilyn Manson's girlfriend.
Rose McGowan.
Rose.
There you go. Not anymore, but
No,
you know.
no.
There was a sequel to this movie, which we might have to do at some point,
I think we do.
I kind of want to based on what you're about to say.
entitled Witch Hunt, with Dennis Hopper playing the Fred Ward character
I mean,
of Henry Philip Lovecraft.
Dennis Hopper as a 48 detective that is in a magical world sounds awesome.
Also, Penelope Ann Miller's in there, Julian Sands, Eric Bogosian. So there's people.
Somehow, Ronald
You know
Reagan,
who's not in it?
Fred Ward.
Clancy.
Oh yeah,
Now he did in the movie,
yeah.
not in real life.
I mean, you could bring it back. We did Pet Cemetery too.
Well, also, everybody does magic.
Yeah, everybody.
He could have been a zombie.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Apparently,
Somebody's gonna use him as a fuck doll.
apparently, and I mean, there's no way to measure the success of these movies because there's no box office.
Right.
It only cost $6 million to make, so the effects are all that more impressive.
That does
Like,
make
all
it
that
more
much
impressive.
I mean,
more.
it's why we like him, is it's practical. But yeah, still, that's a nothing budget even for practical effects.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even make the modern day equivalent of Clerks for $6 million.
If he was still alive, you couldn't get Fred Ward on stage for $6 million. No, he would do it. What am I talking
Is
about?
he dead?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's too bad.
Fred Ward, not even too long ago. I'm gonna double check, but I want to say it was like in 2020, maybe later.
While you're looking that up, there's a scene, the special effects with the paper
2022.
with the paper flying around and the slicing.
Oh yeah.
That was really good. And then Boil face.
Boil face. Oh, the
When the
lesser
when
demon
the
coming out of the
demon
soup.
comes out of the pot and then it eats that guy's face.
Yeah.
Hey, I've had some mean soup before.
And then that guy gets up looking like what Jim Carrey doing the Silence of the Lambs thing. Where he just puts ham on his face or whatever.
Hey, wait
Yeah.
there's a demon in my soup.
So yes, it's Los Angeles, 1948. Everybody used magic.
Except
Well,
one
that's
guy.
a tagline we get at the beginning, or
Yeah.
not a scroll, but whatever,
It's
like
words
an
on the
intro
screen.
words, and then the rest of the movie is spent with everybody talking about how everybody uses magic. So we could have just not done that.
They say
Yeah.
it about 6 times.
a minute.
And we're introduced. So there's a witch lady whose name I didn't get because it doesn't matter. Like she does this
Oh.
witch stuff, but
It's
it has
a
nothing
K
to do
name.
with the
It's
story.
not Calliope, but
no,
it's
it's like Corinthian pop or
like it is not Corinthian pop.
Chrysanthemum.
But it doesn't matter because she is.
No, by the way, that's not a K. I just want
I
to
know.
say that before anybody on the internet's like chrysanthemum's not.
It was like proprietary.
Well, that's
Krabapolis.
what she was a good witch.
But it doesn't matter. Like
Krampus.
she's there, and she doesn't really matter. I feel like she was included because somebody was like, "Well, Lovecraft's known for being racist."
Which I had said on the last episode
Yeah.
that we're going to get some rampant racism.
Like, so we need to have this character who's good and African American, but she doesn't do anything.
It's Hippolyte.
She talks to him a couple times.
It's Hippolyte Kropotkin.
Hippolyte.
Hippolyte Kropotkin.
Kropotkin. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So
Just feel like I
was
heard
not that far off. Okay.
So
Neither was
she's
I.
supposed to do
Krabapolis.
something. She has like I don't know, Chernobyl's bracelet kind of thing that doesn't end up coming back as far as we can
Anything?
tell. But
No.
that's her thing. Is she's his landlord. She
Teaches dance.
her cousin is the lawyer that helps.
Yeah.
And she gives this fucking bracelet. That's
Yeah.
about it. She's also kind of helping set up the beginning because she's doing some
Fun voodoo stuff.
light magic though, or white magic.
White magic.
She makes sure we know she's doing white magic.
She's on the white side of the force.
She's on the yeah. There's always two sides of the force, but she's doing that and kind of setting up that something big is coming.
Okay, is that what she's doing? I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. She's on the roof dancing and doesn't
She
come to anything.
had an amulet and it was pointing towards something, and she even I think she spikes the lens maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she's definitely talking to us, and she's like, something bad's coming. If I had the money, I'd be in Miami.
yeah.
That's
okay.
when she spikes the lens.
Yeah.
When she's like, I'd be in Miami.
Takes I'd be in boom Miami.
Bow, bow. But then we're introduced to Fred Ward.
Oh my
playing-
God, she's the voodoo lady in fucking Weekend at Bernie's 2. Continue.
Maybe she's the witch from Bad Boys 3.
That's a Mexican chick though.
I don't know. I just know there's
I don't
a witch.
remember
Yeah.
it.
I remember seeing it, but that's it.
think
I remember I
it's a
saw it. I
Buharia.
remember there was a witch, and I remember that they were trying to replace them with new kids, and like that's all I remember.
Just
Did
one
we,
of them.
did we see it in theaters?
Mhm.
I don't
Yep.
fucking remember it.
Oh, I watched it not too long ago, and I'm very certain that it's forgettable. Like, I'm not blaming you for not remembering
Okay.
that. It's almost next to nothing happens.
I saw on Amazon Prime for like Prime Day they were selling like a bunch of movies. They had a box set of Bad Boys and it included 1 and 2. I was like, nobody even wants the box set with
Yeah.
number 3.
Well, and spoiler if I'm right, but I think they kill off Joey Pants.
yeah.
And like I remember watching it with the roomie because we had to wrap it up. You know what I mean? We watched 1 and 2. It's like, well, we gotta fucking see
yeah,
this.
that's why we saw it.
And then at one point you can see they're putting Joey Pants in peril. And I was like, if they fucking kill Joey Pants, I am done with this franchise.
So we never watch again?
I'm not. Well, I'll watch
I don't know.
one
I
and
want to
two.
see that new one. I've heard it's good. It looked okay.
All right,
but
Joey
I've heard
Pants
it's
is his
good.
twin brother. I'm back in.
He was resurrected by Fred Ward. Fred Ward doesn't use magic. He's
He
playing Henry Philip Lovecraft in this movie, which
It's
is not Bad
Lovecraft.
Boys.
Depending who you ex.
And
Oh,
for those
Grimaldi.
out there who don't know Fred Ward, which is weird because he's a household name, I think.
In our household, he is.
This household. People listening to this podcast maybe, but I think if you asked 9 Americans, 7.5 would not know who he is. By name, not showing a
The
picture.
half would be the one person who thought they knew who he was, but it was actually someone else.
It was Fred Willard.
But Fred Ward he was the star of, he was a co-star of Tremors and the star of Tremors 2. Don't change the dial.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the podcast from an episode your wife luckily skipped out
Remo.
on.
Yeah, Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Yeah, don't forget that subtitle. The Adventure Begins.
Oh, I
Because
was.
there's a sequel. There's not.
Yeah, there is.
Was there?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Is it this?
There's more than one Remo Williams.
Not
there?
movie,
That
books.
Adventure Begin.
No, they never made another one.
What?
There's a whole bunch of books.
I swear to God, IMDb has other things listed.
Well, you check that. I'll keep talking about what Fred Ward did for a living.
He acted. He was in Joe Dirt.
He was in Joe Dirt. He was in Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman. He's in Southern Comfort, which is a really fun.
It's got Powers Booth in it, or that's his name, right? Powers Booth.
Yeah.
Fred Ward, Farfignugan,
Uh-huh.
and it's basically these National Guard guys go to Louisiana to train, but then some weird shit fucking happens.
Oh, boy.
They fire blanks at some rednecks, and those rednecks decide that they're going to kill them all.
Not just rednecks, swamp people.
Oh,
yeah,
Swampy
swamp
Joes.
people. But
you
it's
can't shoot
a
Swampy
really
Joes.
interesting, fun to watch Walter Hill movie, like lesser known Walter Hill.
So in 1988, we have Remo Williams, The Prophecy, with Roddy McDowell. And then in 2017, you have no cover, Remo Williams 2, The Adventure Continues.
Did they actually get filmed? Like,
Remo Williams 2 is not rated, so that tells you that it probably was released on...
Or it just never came out because
Or
it
it
doesn't even
never
have a
came
cover. Like it's something someone wanted to make and it got put on IMDb
Yeah.
and then it never.
And then the 1988 one is a legit 48-minute movie.
So they took the movie and tried to make a TV show.
Yeah,
they had
it's a
48-minute pilot.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's Fred Ward. He's playing H.P. Lovecraft, Henry Philip Lovecraft, who's a detective who lives in a world that uses magic, but he doesn't use magic. Why not? For personal reasons. What reasons are those? They're personal.
They're personal, see?
Personal.
I was expecting it to be a Roger Rabbit thing, like magic killed my brother.
Yeah, I thought we'd get some kind of explanation.
But no, it's
we
personal.
do kind of. He's basically says later, he's like, well, because all that shit has a price and my soul belongs to me. But he's also at that point shit talking Julianne Moore about how she belongs to
For sure.
Clancy Brown. But
And even this police chief that we meet later, because he's an ex-cop. Fred Ward is an ex-cop that is now a private eye. But the guy says, like, man, this is bad. If this is, oh no, then fucking Fred Ward jibes back. He's like, yeah, but can't stand in the way of progress, right? Like, y'all use magic. He's like, man, if this is what magic brings, I'd rather fucking have vanilla.
yeah,
So he's trying to get
because
like,
it brings
it's everything's out of whack.
exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, it's supposed to be good for us, but yeah, it's also bad.
Yeah. Oh, sure, it makes things easier, but at what cost?
It makes everything
Can't even
easier,
light your own fucking cigarettes, pal.
right? You just gotta flick a magical thing in your
Just
hand that
gotta
I
hold
can't.
flame.
I gotta pretend I don't see in your hand.
I saw it. As much as we love the effects, there are some times, as Whitney's saying, we saw the can of fire in the hand.
Yep.
We saw somebody's mouth inside the gargoyle. But I mean, we saw that in Ninja Turtles at one point. So, it happens.
magic is just a sleight of
Sweet
hand.
magic.
And also demons. I do just going to mention the beginning because the beginning is the end of a previous case where Fred Ward ended up arresting his client, as it appears, who was a sexy dame.
Yeah.
I only want to mention it because it's hilarious because it's how we first meet this police chief, who is Chief Bradbury, which I'm sure has nothing to do with Ray Bradbury.
No way. It's different.
Who's Ray Bradbury?
Science fiction author. Actually wrote the treaty or the treatment for the movie that we just covered last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think I mentioned that.
It came from outer space.
Okay.
AKA in subtitles, Whitney's nap time.
But I
Don't
just
you
liked
remember?
it.
It's like your sister always said, one man's coming, another man's
Another
loop.
man's
Moving
loop.
on.
There's because we kind of meet like the side characters. There's Grimaldi, who's this other cop who's talking shit to Fred Ward while they're arresting this girl, and then Bradbury shows up. This girl knocks out Grimaldi, and I just wrote it down because it was funny. Because Bradbury's like, "Hey man, you got to get up. People will never think you've never been knocked out by a dame before. I can't talk."
But you're gonna act like you've never been punched by a dame. So we've talked. I think last week or week before we talked about that really shitty Will Smith Netflix original movie Bright.
Yeah,
this does it better.
Yeah,
this gives me what I wanted from Bright, just on a lower budget and not as modern, clearly. But like, there's a point where they're arresting a fucking werewolf. You know,
a what?
A werewolf.
A werewolf.
He's arresting a werewolf. Like it's. We talk about all this magic shit that exists while you have cops that are dressed up in normal 48 attire.
By the way, it's funny. The cover that we saw on the service we watched this on didn't just had Fred Ward and some little magic symbols or whatever.
And a pentagram on his
penis.
But
the cover that I saw that originally got me to pick this movie definitely had the werewolf on it. And I was like, oh, he's got like a werewolf partner.
That would have been
awesome.
No, the werewolf was in one scene for like 8 seconds. And that's a lot of makeup for like one shot.
I mean... Oh, they don't need. They didn't edit it for commercials, so never mind.
No, yeah.
I was thinking they're probably trying to hit some time thing, but because it's on HBO, they can do whatever they want.
But Bradbury is played by Charles Hallahan, who I recognized from The Thing. He's one of the guys, obviously, at the station that they're all at. Mm-hmm. He's the one whose head comes off and turns into like a spider monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw that in theaters.
If you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times.
No, we saw that movie, and then not even a month later, it was in theaters, and he's like, "You want to go see it?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to see that on the big screen."
Yeah, sometimes you never get that chance,
right? We ended up taking one of our old co-hosts, Patrick.
He's also in Dante's Peak, The Fan, and The Pest, but I don't know much. I just recognized him from The Thing.
I like a lot of these actors. He's got a good face for this time period. We talked about it before. Sometimes your face just doesn't belong in the 40s.
Correct.
Fred Ward's is amazing for this.
Yeah.
He is such a filterless cigarette smoking, gruff, drinking coffee and whiskey at the same time, sleeping at a couch detective.
Yeah, I believed it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think we really mentioned other than it's 1948, but this is basically a noir detective story that also has like gloopy monsters.
Oh, what did the description? It was, imagine Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I mean, Roger Rabbit meets fucking demons.
Demons, yeah.
Like
I don't remember. There was a thing on the cover that we saw.
Yeah.
It's like
Roger Rabbit meets Ghostbusters a bit.
A little bit.
But not nearly as funny.
Lovecraft hates magic. Weird. Because I thought he loved magic.
Yeah. He loves crafts.
He loves Magic the Gathering. And so we get at the beginning of like the steamy detective like narration, right? Like you always get in the noir movies. And it's how it started with a woman. It always starts with a woman.
Always starts with a woman.
I mean, yeah.
And we cut to a woman, but it's not the one that started because of, although it kind of is.
Yeah.
We see Julianne Moore playing the piano.
We find out at the end it's all started because of her.
Yeah. Julianne Moore, of course, everybody knows her. I don't need to list this stuff, right?
Boogie Nights.
Big Lebowski.
She's a big fan of coitus. And if you haven't, I know you haven't watched Far In, but she plays a tremendous Boston accent character in 30 Rock. Jack Donaghy, Mr. Rich and
no,
Famous.
I've watched all of 30 Rock. I just don't remember her. But
It's
it's been
been
years.
Okay, I thought you said you fell off towards the end.
No, I think we watched it all. Maybe we didn't watch the last season, but
I think I've watched 2 seasons.
Oh, I think it's pretty fucking great.
She's also in The Lost World, so that's pretty cool.
So there's that.
Don't change the dial on that one.
I am a fan of her, though. I like her work.
Oh, me too. What did I say about her? She is the better version of Nicole Kidman in every way.
Everywhere.
She's what Nicole Kidman wishes that she was.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Not thewish.com, the Nicole wishes.
And she's playing piano for Clancy Brown, who's
she
playing
is tickling
Harry
them
Gordon.
ivories.
This is the youngest I've ever seen Clancy, and I did not recognize him until we zoomed in on his face.
Well, and also some of the more clean cut that he's ever done. He's got a nice shaved sides of the head, slick back hair, real pencil thin mustache.
Yes.
White smoking jacket.
I mean, aside from the mustache, this is pretty close to Shawshank, right?
Yeah, it is, except for he's always got a hat on.
Yeah.
And he's beating up Marys.
He's also beating up young children in Starship Troopers. That's
Yes,
pretty
he is.
cool. I mean, they're all 30, but they're supposed to be playing high schoolers, so.
There's also a fucking sci-fi show he was on. It's got is it like Earth 2? think it's called
I
Earth
never watched
2.
that one.
Dude, we will have to try and fucking dig that up and see if we can find any sort of good resolution.
He popped up recently and a couple years ago in The Mandalorian, season 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the
he plays,
heist
like,
one.
Zerg, I think.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
a Deveronian.
That's like one of the best episodes of the whole series.
Yeah. And
with
he
Bill
voices
Burr.
a lot in the Star Wars cartoons because why wouldn't you use
Well, he
his
does a
voice?
ton of voices.
Right,
Like, just going
right.
through his IMDb, he just does a lot of voice acting because he's got that big, angry voice.
He's talked about there was a voice acting documentary and everyone talked about their warm-ups and their cool downs. Like, I drink a lemon tea and I do this, and it cuts to Clancy Brown. He goes, I smoke a cigar and I drink a half a bottle of whiskey and then I go record. And on the way home, I drink the rest of that whiskey and I smoke my cigar. And it's just because he's got that great voice for it.
That's the voice you're hiring him for.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to do
yeah.
anything. And of course, he's in the Highlander, or
Uh-huh.
just Highlander.
Just
Apologize.
Mr. Manager. Yeah.
Oh, and he
Kurgan.
popped up. He was on that Gen V we just watched. It's the spinoff from The Boys.
Oh, the boys,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I didn't watch it for a while because it's like The Boys, like high school years. But it turned out to be almost more brutal than The Boys.
Yeah.
Saying something. They explode more dicks.
Yeah.
There's there's a girl who shrinks really small, and then she's sliding up and down on this guy's dick, and it's a very close-up shot of this.
Oh, my.
And the guy is just like telling her to like let go and drop and sit on his balls. It's pretty fucked up.
Oh, man.
Well, there is an exploding dick part.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the one girl has blood control powers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fucked up.
I love it.
Use
So
that power once a month.
He's basically playing some big crime lord / magic muckety muck, something.
He's your classic club owner.
Yep.
That's dirty on the side.
Yeah, and
Well,
he
he
used
was
to
a
be
dirty cop, so
yeah,
now
we
he's a
find
club
out
owner.
later he used to be Fred Ward's partner, and he was dirty, and that's also why Fred Ward is no longer a cop. Although Bradbury tells him he's welcome back on the force.
Sure, but it's
I
his
think-
choice. I think
yeah.
it's like the cops left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, as
He's
they
not the
do to a
first.
lot of people.
He's not the first. And what's he keeps calling him? Clancy Brown keeps calling him, you're a nickel and dime man.
Yeah,
Like, you never saw the big picture. That's why you're broke. And
Yeah.
look at me owning this club and fucking Julianne Moore.
and he's got
I stole your broad.
he's got this
Mm-hmm.
sidekick Tugwell, who I didn't bother getting the guy's name, but Tugwell is just a great name.
Raymond, I want to say O'Connor or something. The only thing I recognized him from is he's the tour guide for Alcatraz in The Rock. That is the only thing that really came.
Is that really all that I would know? He looks
No.
so
That's the
familiar.
first thing. That's a thing that I stopped
Oh.
looking at because he did one episode of a lot of shows.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, I'll get there one
So
day.
he's that guy.
Yeah, he's a that guy for
He's
sure.
like 4 feet tall, tries to talk like a tough, but just sounds like if Joe Pesci got helium.
Uh-huh. Much like Joe Pesci's rap album.
Tell me that's true.
It's true. Oh, it's true. Little Joe?
Did he
Yeah,
do
well-
any songs? Did he do any songs with Fat Joe?
No. We will listen to it sometime. It is a treat.
Maybe that'll be a Patreon special. We'll listen to
A listen along.
the Little Joe album and we'll commentate. But basically, Clancy Brown's buying the Necronomicon from this fat, sweaty guy, which turns out to be the fake Necronomicon.
Yeah, you've been fooled before by this, haven't you? If you've seen one fake Necronomicon.
Oh, and he's got a zombie. Tugwell has a zombie sidekick,
Yes, he does.
who's one of the only black characters in this.
Outside of Miss Calliope Kaleidoscope,
Yep.
the only other people of color are all zombies.
And her cousin.
Oh,
who's
and
the
her cousin.
lawyer.
That's right, the lawyer.
But yeah, everybody else they're all zombies, so that's pretty Lovecraftian.
If you don't know this information, I told Whitney to look up Lovecraft's cat name.
Oh my god.
Just know
Yeah.
it's not. Don't be having children like over your shoulder when you're reading.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I just-
Google
It's-
Lovecraft's cat's name.
You'll see why
We
we
won't
talk
tell
about
you.
rampant racism.
Yeah.
It was apparently his grandfather's cat.
Change the name.
I
Change. You change.
can't
the
change the cat's name. It's about heritage.
name.
not
So
hate.
it turns out
No.
it turns out your brother died and you're the godfather to the child. So you're gonna raise little baby Hitler Affolder. You're gonna change that name from Hitler, aren't you? Like
Yeah.
if someone gave you a baby and the first name was Hitler,
I just call him Hitsy.
man, it's gonna be a real weird conversation when he finally gets married or takes a driving test or anything else. Also, Hitsy?
My parents had a sense of humor.
I would at least call him Lurie. Hitlery. Oh, Hillary Clinton. Got it. That's what happened.
Shit.
So anyway, the fat dude sells him a fake Necronomicon, so Tugwell gets sent after him to kill him in the bathroom.
Remind me, though, did he know he was selling him a fake?
Yes, that's what we find out at the end. So it's all the twists and turns of your noir thing.
Right.
We'll
go out of order just to help
Lily,
me.
who turns out to be Larry, told Lovecraft that they stole the real Necronomicon and a fake that Hackshaw, who we haven't met yet, had.
Sure.
And they sold the fake to Clancy Brown because they were planning on basically like ransoming back or like trying to sell back the real one to Hackshaw.
I thought that was something Larry Lilly thought up on their own.
Oh, I thought it was a
And just kind of
team
well,
thing,
no,
but
because this was somebody that they were in love, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that to each other.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Or
met each
would
other at a
you?
stag party.
Yeah.
That's the
what we're
word
gonna
he
call
used.
it.
Yep.
1990s stag with an F.
This guy does get murdered pretty cool way. We kind of talked about the paper cut tornado. So he opens his pouch that he got of money from Clancy Brown. He's telling Tugwell, like, I'll give you half my money. He opens it, and it's all just pieces of newspaper cut into the shape of money.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Either that or that's what they use for money in this world. I don't know.
No,
No.
'cause he was shocked. Crosswords? What the hell is this? I can't spend these.
What am I supposed to do with 10,000 crosswords?
Did you know how much more money the Sunday Funnies would be worth if that was their currency? Oh, he's got color bills. Ooh, is that Family Circus? You get out of here.
My name's H.P. Lovecraft, and I don't accept color bills. I don't know what he sounds like, but I'm going to assume he's a redneck.
There's no way of knowing what he sounds like. Yo, I am in the mood for like a really juicy IPA, and I don't see any in the fridge.
Yeah, I think I'm all out, but I do know a place we can go get some more.
Let's go to the Arizona Beer House.
Arizona Beer House. They have 34 taps with like almost 800 cans and bottles that you can drink in-house or take to go. And it's conveniently located at Broadway and Kolb, 150 South Kolb in Tucson, Arizona.
I'll tell you what, I'd tap that.
Let's head down to Arizona Beer House right now.
Let's go. I'll drive.
First pint's on me, guys.
All right.
Sharks of the Corn? Virus shark? Cocaine shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
Yeah, and this is the first special effects
Oh.
blood scene that I was really into. I
And
love
there's
that
a lot of little special effects here. The Tugwell guy gets like a handful of water because he's trying to find fat guy hiding in the bathroom.
Yes.
And he gets a handful
He
of
gets
water.
down on his knees first in his fucking white suit. I was like, I ain't
This is a pretty clean train station bathroom, dude.
Except for the sink.
Except for the sink. But the floors were nice and shiny.
I mean, he does have magic, so he just like make my suit white again.
yeah. But
Careful
I
with the
like
snaps. The zombie will come.
he takes a handful of water and like blows on it and it turns into dry ice and then somehow that's fire
Yeah,
and it burns this guy out of the bathroom stall, which is kind of cool.
I wanted to
It like
complain about
explodes
it.
him.
I wanted to complain about it. Like, how did that water turn to dry ice, which turned into home like heat-seeking fire? Magic.
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 The Force,
The
dude.
Force.
Magic.
Using my own logic against me. How dare you?
We cut to Fred Ward going to this big palatial estate that was painted by Matt. And
I'm glad Matt's getting work again.
It was a beautiful painting, though.
yeah. And the sky is blood red, which comes back in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah. In the bathroom stall, though, he does get like a little, exactly the same width as one of the papers, but like a streak of blood shot
Mhm.
onto him.
Oh, and since we're still on that, the cool practical effect, for no good reason, he looks in the mirror and says "boo," and it just like collapses
Yep.
the mirror, like just a shatter.
Gunshot.
It's a fun little effect.
Yeah.
It's not needed, but you're flexing your muscles.
Yeah, you are.
So flex away, Marvin Gaye.
And there is this recurring joke that happens right here. I guess it only happens twice. I kept expecting it to come up.
Yeah.
Because Fred Ward's office is next to a dance studio. And he gets to this house and he goes up to the butler and he's like, here's my card. I need to talk to Hackshaw.
Tap in ballroom.
I really don't think I need this.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, no, never mind. And then it comes back later where he gives someone else's business card. And he's like, nah, I'm not much of a dancer.
I thought 3 more times.
Yeah.
Same.
At least one more. Comedy, rule of threes.
Yeah.
We meet David Warner, who's playing Amos Hackshaw. David Warner is a famous guy. You'd recognize him. He was in Titanic.
Billy Zane's bodyguard.
He's in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Of course, everybody knows that.
Is he in one of the Lethal Weapons as a South African cat? Lethal Weapon 2, maybe?
I'm not
He
sure.
might-
I know he's in The Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter.
Okay.
He's in Tron for a bit there.
Yeah, as soon as I looked him up, I stopped because I just saw Titanic. I was like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
I still have not seen it.
Dude,
But
Billy
Derek tells me
Zane?
I know, right?
You're
I've
such a
seen
zaniac.
I've seen the Billy Zane scenes, and then I was out.
All right.
So I told her, I'm like, I don't have to watch it soon because I'm in the midst of watching all of James Cameron's movies pre-Avatar.
Yeah, that's where you stop.
I might have to watch that first Avatar just because I'm doing a ranking on Letterboxd and I can't rank them all and not include that one because I included the second one because I saw it during the Oscar
But
marathon.
you don't have to rewatch it.
1 star.
Do you want me to act it out for you?
Yes.
You got to go blue yourself.
I blew myself a little early. I didn't realize you weren't ready for me. Sorry.
But anyway, he's playing this guy and he does. There was a moment where he's checking on Lovecraft. He's checking Fred Ward out, trying to make sure he doesn't have any magic shit.
It gets a little sexual.
He's like telling him to open up his shirt and stuff. And he's like, it's true. You have no tokens, no talismans, no fetishes. I'm like, who says? I know what they mean. They mean like the little like voodoo doll type of things.
Absolutely,
And stuff,
but it just seems a little weird.
yeah, I'm like, I'm sure.
You're not into feet?
You're telling
butt
me that this
stuff?
gruff detective from the 40s who sleeps on a couch and lives off whiskey doesn't have any fetishes?
Oh, he loves getting his cube smashed.
I was gonna say, you know what his
he
fetishes
dated
are.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
You have to love getting your cubes smashed.
He
I
liked-
assume that's what she does.
He liked rough coitus.
Swings. Zip lines on the ceiling.
Ooh, new fetish unlocked. Zipline sex? Yeah.
So is that like on your bucket list for when moves out
Oh, yeah.
or roommate moves out? Bleep
Oh, she
it.
don't care.
Bleep it. I do.
I told her once before that I don't use your name. She's like, I don't care. She's like, no one that I know listens to your show.
Well, fuck you. You're not a good friend.
Listen here, bitch.
You know what? One day they will when we're the biggest podcast.
You'll see
In the world.
Then you'll see. I'm gonna be somebody.
I want to be a
won't.
star.
I don't feel like being somebody, dude. It's tough enough to be me.
And we also meet Olivia Hackshaw here, who is played by a woman named Alexandra Powers, who I meant to go back and check because I feel like I recognize her.
Last Man
but-
Standing with Bruce Willis, and it's
Okay.
a similar role because it's that like 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
and small town gangster
I think
kind
that's
of
like
thing.
the 20s, but it's the same.
Oh, I guess it
idea.
is the
but it's
well,
the same. How much did
Is it
culture
they got
really
a Tommy
change?
gun, so it couldn't be the 20s.
30s maybe? Because wasn't it? It's been forever since I've seen Last Man Standing, but wasn't it like Prohibition, fucking mafia type?
I think
stuff?
it was post-pro. Well, maybe.
No, it's where Tim Allen was working for Outdoor Man.
We are about to fight Whitney right now. Oh? Every time you mention Tim Allen's name, dude, he gets a little in the back of his head.
He sprouts one feather, and if you say it enough times, he gets wings and gets to go to heaven. How do you feel about that?
Tim Allen, Tim Allen, Tim Allen, Tom.
Now you're saying Tim Allen.
She's saying it because she's like, I'm not going to be there.
Exactly.
If we can get Tim Allen off this earth by saying his name enough.
She's been paid off by his cocaine dealers to
I
get rid
wish.
of him.
They don't pay with cocaine.
Get rid of that snitch. But anyway, she's playing a 16-year-old, even though she's probably 28 or 30.
Yeah, I would say 28.
And it's going to be problematic for a while because like this whole thing stems on her being super horny, everybody wanting to bang her, and them needing a virgin.
Yeah, and even this first scene with Fred Ward where he is playing, like she's flirting with him. And he's playing back with the flirting, but he's also shutting it down. But he lets things go because, like, she says something, and he's like, well, you're going to have to take that blouse off. And she's like, oh, really? And he's like, well, yeah, that blood will set in your blouse because she was hunting a unicorn. Folks.
And how we find out she's a virgin is he even says, you're all talk. Only virgins can hunt unicorns. She smacks him. He's like, that's what I thought.
And then it starts raining blood.
Oh,
Yeah,
from
it
a
does.
lacerated sky.
hallelujah. It's raining blood.
It's funny. They
I
said
was
it
going with Slayer, but
They're saying it would be clear skies today.
you know, blood rain. At first I was like, okay, it's like a gag. The rest of this movie, or most of the rest of this movie, everybody's driving around their cars, their houses, everything has blood.
So it's
rain
because
on it.
it's
Yeah,
the
it does.
666th year.
Yes.
Like there's a little bit of a weakness between dimensions where you can invite Cthulhu and his pals over, and you know everyone have a big muckety muck.
You know, that's the kind of house party I want. Like
Cthulhu
once
and
every
his pals?
once every 666 years. So he gets to this boarding house. He's looking for this guy Lewis. Was that his name? Larry?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Something with
Yeah,
an L.
Larry
There's-
Willis.
The one that ends up being
There's
thank you,
Larry
Larry
Willis.
Willis. That's what.
Oh, that's right, because it's a
Because it ends up being Lily
Johnny
Anagram.
Switch 'em up.
Lily Swishaman or whatever.
It's an anagram of the same
Sirwar.
names. You see?
But I only wrote this down because it doesn't really matter. Other than like he finds the picture that leads him to the club, the Dunwich Club or whatever.
Because
But I really like
or Mickey loves Lily.
Yeah.
See you at the Dutch or whatever.
the Dunwich room. Which
By the
is
way-
Dunwich Hotel, I think, is what it's called, and it's a Lovecraft
The
thing.
first time that this character Lily was on screen, Whitney clocked in its second. It's like, oh, that's a dude.
yeah,
You know, and that's fine. What we couldn't figure out though is everybody else supposed to know that or not.
Well, they were better in gender acknowledgement.
they were more progressive in some ways, just not in ways that included anybody that wasn't white.
It's a dude dressed up as a lady. What color are they? Carry on.
That's fine. I love that Aerosmith
But Fred
song.
Ward is the only one. But as far as we see don't see a lot of other interaction. But as soon as Fred Ward, he's like, and that's a dude.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fine,
he
guys. I
doesn't
love
say
the
anything.
Aerosmith song.
He acknowledges. He's like, so
Dude
who's
looks
the
like
dame?
a lady.
He's like, who's the dame? Da 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 da.
But before we get past that, I just want to talk about this grumpy old man.
Oh God.
This crotchety old man is one of the best parts of this movie.
Uh-huh.
I
Fucking
don't think he has a
gremlins.
name. He's just the guy that owns the boarding house.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I don't think we ever got a name for.
But he's
his
working on this
character.
car, and it's not. It's kind of like a world building scene because you see little kids like vandalizing a car by doing magic.
Uh-huh.
And he's working on this car, and Fred Ward's like, "Oh, I think the choke is stuck," and he's like, "It's no sassum frassum choke, whatever."
Russum.
He's got this fucking line of like, "All we brought back from World War One or World War One, all we brought back from France was the clap." This one, they come back with these gremlins, and he opens the hood, and the engine's just full of gremlins.
Full of gremlins.
And he's fucking gassing them with one of those, I don't know, if like from the original Donkey Kong, or was it Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong 3? Where you're the Mario that's using the gas?
Yeah, it's also in Godfather.
His
I
name,
know, but I'm thinking about video games.
His name was Owl Wagon Manager.
No. Owl Wagon Manager is the guy that gets.
That's the guy that gets
Silence
that's the
of the
diner.
Lambs.
Oh, the
Owl
diner.
Wagon is the diner,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah, he might not have a name. I wouldn't be surprised if he's an actor.
And then up here, when he goes upstairs and he's looking through Larry's room, there's a gremlin that's in there. And this guy, so first of all, this guy owns a boarding house where people need to pay to live.
Uh-huh.
He is just annihilating this room with a shotgun. And he's not hitting this fucking gremlin at all.
What did he say? He said something. Any visitors? That's what it is. Fred Ward says, any visitors? Everyone I know is dead. Not you, him.
I do like when he finds the postcard and it says from Mickey and Lily. And he's like, "Hey, you know anybody named Mickey?" And the guy's out there chasing the gremlin still. And he's just like, "Mickey Mouse."
Bam.
It's like, I assumed you would not be helpful. Thank you. Like, it's a stupid scene. It doesn't really have any purpose, but it's funny.
I mean, you could have had him find this anyway, but we got a good character.
Yeah,
actor.
it gives me some levity in this. This, it's not a serious movie, but it's played as serious.
Yes, exactly. Well said.
So we go to the Dunwich Club or the Dunwich Room.
Did you notice that it looks like just on the outside it's just a doorway? Like you can't see the whole long, big, giant club.
No,
It's one of those magic things. It's just a doorway and like a front. I think it's like
With
very
the big awning.
I think it's very Harry Potter though.
Yeah.
Like get in the tent and it's a fucking palace.
And he's
Oh,
not
okay.
credited, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be.
but this is it's kind of like the Copacabana,
Uh-huh.
or is that the one from The Mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess what's the place they're hanging out in? Goodfellas,
The Copa
And same with
Club.
the shadows.
something like that too. That's why I was confused. I
And
was
the
like,
same with
Yeah.
the shadow. It's a noir thing.
yeah, it's that old timey jazz club.
Mhm.
And all I could think watching this scene and the one almost immediately preceding it, where
His name
Julianne
is Cuban
Moore is
Pete.
singing.
Oh, not that.
No. Although the other day I came home from work, and
It wasn't me.
for no reason, all night I was like, "My name is Cuban Pete." Like I don't why
And it goes
boom chicky boom boom chicky boom boom chicky boom. Why? Why was that song just suddenly in my head?
What the fuck is that song?
From the mask.
From The Mask?
I haven't seen that movie in
such
I haven't seen that movie since I was like maybe 11.
Probably
That
the last
song
time I
just
saw it.
came into my head.
I mean, I wonder if I earwormed you because I often just have that living in my brain.
I mean, that would be. I
Was
could
it a
understand
day
that,
where-
but it was. I think it was Sunday, but it was.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
But it was many, many, many hours later.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it would have been stuck in my head all day.
No.
And I wasn't playing.
No, that's how earworms work.
I wasn't playing. Sometimes I'll play like the swing, like the big band swing
Yeah,
station
yeah.
or something, and that
The
song will
Royal
actually
Crown
come
Review.
on. I didn't. didn't play that. I was playing fucking Amigo the Devil all day.
I'm telling you, you heard his little, like, he was probably putting stuff in his pockets, and he was just like, whatever the song is.
She's really close.
and
Something
you,
about
your
Cuban pizza.
subconscious
Maybe I
heard
just
it?
really wanted a Cuban sandwich.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Did you have
I need
420?
some Cuban meat.
The Cubans are the sweetest treats. And it goes yum, yummy, yum, yum, yummy, yum.
But Connie Stone, who is Julianne Moore's
Connie
character.
stoned?
I am stoned.
Connie is stoned?
Julianne Moore's character sings this song at the stupid club, and she sings one again in a couple minutes. And all I could think during this, because they're both such slow, stupid, dumb songs, I was like, I would hate to have been alive in like the 30s and 40s or whatever, because like these are the clubs you go to hang out at to get your martinis and do your whatnot, and there's always some chick who's just like.
And it cuts to all the patrons having the best fucking time of their life.
Dude, it's
But like in
everyone's
love
just
with
sitting there
her
like,
voice.
And I'm with Derek. I think the same thing sometimes. I'm like, this is the lively music.
yeah.
This is
It's
it.
supposed
But
to
you
be.
know,
Kill
you know what
yourself.
you do? We would go to the fucking African American juke joints
Yeah.
where they're serving fucking gin and dancing
like,
like fucking to real music.
What did we just watch? Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
When she goes to hang out with Kevin J. O'Connor and Nick Cage is there singing, and it's the all black like jazz club.
All
Dude,
of these-
that shit was popping.
Yeah, it
All these
Also,
white...
she got a high life there. So
Ooh, I didn't need to be sold, but you got me. All these white musician biopics, dude. Those are the best parts, man. Fucking Great Balls of Fire, Elvis. Like, it's always in these old black juke joints.
yeah,
Even fucking Dewey Cox.
because white
because they
people are
underst-
boring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They think mayo is spicy.
Oh, God, mayo's disgusting.
It's too spicy for Jack.
Shots fired. No, yeah, I replaced the mayo with hot sauce.
But we do see that the gargoyle. We didn't mention the gargoyle. There's a gargoyle that was
yeah.
at
He's
Hacksaw's
credited.
house or whatever he's called. David Warner's house.
Wait,
and it's
hold
been
on.
following
Is it Doug Jones?
It is not
Okay,
Doug Jones.
Doesn't
Too
matter.
short. It's been following Fred Ward around. It's following him here. This is where we kind of see it. We saw like a view of it looking at him, look like a shitty security camera
Yeah.
earlier, but this is where we see that he's like waiting in the bushes.
And for a
following
second,
him.
I thought that. I was like, oh, no, they wouldn't have a security camera hidden a gargoyle in 48 because it
No.
looks like the what's the magic dude's name? Well, I guess they're all magic. Everyone uses magic.
except for Lovecraft.
The rich dude.
Okay, I'm interrupting Cal
Clancy
here.
Brown.
Myrrh.
No. The virgin's dad.
Oh, Hackshaw.
Hackshaw.
David Warner.
Yeah, I thought
Hackshaw.
Hackshaw was like watching him, but it turns out it was just that's how he sees.
Okay, so Michael Reed McKay was his name. You would also know him from Skinny Husband of Ace Ventura. X-Men 2, he's Jason 143.
Return of the
Batman
Jedi.
and Robin, he's Antonio Diego. The Monster Squad, he's a mummy. Army of the Dead, he's Shambler or something. Like,
So
this
he's
guy
a
is-
monster extra.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the non-successful Doug Jones.
But he's in a bunch of shit that you guys have seen.
all right. He's in the he's the moderately successful
Ooh,
Doug Jones.
he's
Doug
in-
Jones isn't a successful
He's in
Doug
Shasta
Jones.
McNasty as Triclops. I don't know. Just
Take a screenshot of that so we can watch that.
I know
later.
that I know Shasta McNasty.
What?
That was a show from Spike TV, I believe. I don't know who
22
Triclops is.
episodes. Thing, because I see Jake Busey and
Yeah, it was. A
I
show,
see
it was
Jake
like Spike
Busey.
TV.
I see
Vern
Busey
Troyer.
people.
Yeah, Vern Troyer.
okay, and then a bunch of people. Yeah, a bunch of people. I don't know who half. Brian Stepnick. I know who he is.
All right, well, this says it was on UPN, so it must have been replayed on Spike TV.
That makes sense. That
It
makes
had
sense.
Gary Busey in it also.
Ooh.
Okay, so back to Cast a Deadly Spell.
It
Yeah, we're on
has
the clock
it has
here.
Carmine Giovinazzo.
I know. I saw that. I do know who that is, and I,
don't
love
know
him.
who that is.
I have no
All right.
clue who that is.
We're back. But he's sitting there talking to Julianne Moore, Fred Ward is, about whatever. They're doing their like detective-y flirty thing. And you hear the zombie walk up behind him. And it's just a really funny line.
Did somebody put up an office building behind me? I also do how he I like how he orders a drink for
Oh
him.
yes, this is how I'm ordering from now on.
Well, that one. Give me a whiskey, introduce it to some water, but make it discreet.
Yeah,
Love
That's
it.
great.
And then when
But I
he
meant
orders,
when he's ordering for her,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, I'll get my whiskey water. The lady will have a Scotch sour. And she says, what if I would have changed up? Maybe I changed up my drinks. She's like, I still would have ordered it just to watch you eat the fruit.
yeah,
Smooth.
smooth.
Could be inappropriate, but it's not because it's Fred Ward.
In 1948,
If Woody
smooth as
Allen
fuck.
said this to you, you would be like, I would order it for you so I could watch you eat the fruit. Oh,
And then my response would be, Woody, I'm not your teenage daughter.
I'm too old and too male and too unrelated.
So he gets taken up to Clancy Brown's office. They have their chit chat about exposition.
Hey, guess what? We used to be partners, remember? Because
Yeah.
the audience didn't.
There is the funny conversation about the zombie, though, because he's like, oh, you're not using your old muscle anymore. And he's like, well, zombies don't need food. They don't talk back. They don't get ideas.
Yeah.
But
I don't
they
need
do-
to pay them.
But they do rot after 3 months, which I like the thought process put into like the economics of using zombies as laborers. It's like they rot after 3 months if the weather's right.
But
You can get a 6-pack
you get a
for
box of
$30 from the West Indies.
Like-
it's like bonbons.
like bonbons. It would suck though, because this zombie they have is an office building. You're gonna get attached to that.
Yeah,
Next zombie gets a little smaller, like, oh.
you get 6 of them, but not when they're this big. You only get a
Uh-uh.
2-pack.
Yeah, this is 3 zombies.
Okay, they got him, and they're like, "We're gonna save this guy for this year, this specific 3 months right here."
You
is
can't
when
save
we
him. The
need
body's rotting.
You freeze
You
him
put them in the
Yeah,
freezer.
that's true.
Yeah.
like bonbons.
So move your operation to Alaska.
Well, they need to be here because for some reason this pit to the other world is located in Hollywood.
Are you going to tell me you're surprised that the portal of hell is in Hollywood?
Not at all.
No, you know
If
what?
Buffy
You're right.
taught me anything, it's in Greendale or
Sunnydale.
whatever. Sunnydale.
Which I'm assuming is very close to Hollywood.
And Charmed, theirs is in San Francisco. It's the Nexus.
Nah, it'd be in Hollywood before San Francisco.
I don't like it being called the Nexus. That's stolen from Star Trek. But the
It's just
what do they call it in?
It's where all the ports of
What do they call it in
energy.
Buffy?
Who could care?
It doesn't matter because it's Buffy.
Horcrux? No.
No, not Horcrux.
No, that's just what they started calling her later. That's what Joss Whedon was calling all the women on the show behind the scenes.
No,
Listen
a
here, you
Horcrux is
Horcrux.
something- The
Remember when
Horcrux
he
is
was-
from Harry Potter.
I know, but he's a famously Joss Whedon's famously abusive of his
I know.
female.
Even though he was
Cast
touted
members.
as being like the best writer for female characters for a
Yeah.
long time, like that was his thing.
Well, that's how he gets into their headspace, is he hits them and tells them they're shitty.
and
I
then he
don't
can
know.
write a woman perfectly.
Exactly. And then you get Charisma Carpenter.
I got to break you down before I can build you up.
If he was so he couldn't have been so bad for the whole time because she went to multiple of his shows.
Work.
Money.
Oh, I guess
I mean, sometimes you take the lesser of evils.
it wasn't Weinstein.
Exactly. Like, well, he is abusing me, but
All he does
Anyway,
is yell at me and tell me I'm a piece of shit. He doesn't try to have sex with me.
with a piece of shit.
Ugh. A frozen piece of shit?
No, sorry, Harvey Weinstein's dick is a piece of shit.
Oh, a frozen piece of shit.
He
No,
can't
it's
get,
warm.
He can't get hard.
But so he has this conversation. We find out about the Necronomicon and stuff, which we've already discussed. He goes back to his office, and he goes back to his office to go get drunk and fall asleep.
Yeah, dude, he's got cabinet
So,
scotch.
I got a question.
Filing cabinet scotch.
I've got a question for
couch
the both of you.
scotch.
So we're comparing this to Roger Rabbit. Well, they
Yes.
did, so that means I am now. So Eddie Valiant has a Murphy bed.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Fred Ward has a couch bed.
Uh-huh.
Which one is cooler? Which one is scuzzier?
Murphy bed's cooler.
Yep.
Is it also scuzzier, though?
Yes.
It depends on, I don't know, man. Neither of these guys are putting their shit away. They're just folding it up.
Yeah.
I mean, is he folding it up?
Not that we see. Also, the color of his tank top, his undershirt, is not white anymore. That is yeller.
I don't know if Eddie Valiant's is white either.
We see him wash his laundry in the sink.
I don't know. I would prefer Murphy to a couch.
I would too.
I would too, but I also I was thinking about it watching this, and
I
I
think
was
that's
like,
more money.
which one's cooler? Murphy bed.
You're talking
But
to
which
somebody,
one's like more or less scuzzy? Like if you're
I would
like
say
when he
couch
has
bed.
when he has Julianne Moore stay over later, is it scuzzier to fold out the couch for sex or to pull
Yes.
down the Murphy bed for
It's
sex?
it's scuzzier to pull out the couch.
Okay, if she's coming home with me, she's not sober.
Also, she already knows she's been there.
Well, no.
Oh, okay. As I say,
Okay.
we've been drinking. I guarantee you, if I pull a Murphy bed out of my filing cabinet, she's like, "Oh my god!"
Exactly. And if you're on the couch, you know how much shit spills on the couch? Especially if this is your house and you either have a bed or a couch. Like,
He
you're
is getting
dropping
hammered
soup and
drunk in this
foods
place a lot.
and
He's pissed on
pissing.
this couch.
Like,
At best, he spilt a bunch of whiskey on it.
so pull down the bed and there's nothing in there. It's clean.
I mean, I think they're both scuzzy. But you're talking to somebody that always thought that he would have a Murphy bed because I saw it in
And-
movies and Roger Rabbit type things. I'm like, I want that.
I know. And
Yeah.
also, I'm thinking about the Murphy-esque type bed from Monty Bass.
Oh yeah.
Where
Fifth
it
Element.
fucking remakes itself.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think a Murphy bed would be great now. It's just the problem is I'm like, well, I do want like a king size bed with like the adjustable frame.
All the bells and whistles.
You're pulling this Murphy bed out like you unlatch the thing and it just crushes you. Why does my Murphy bed weigh 400 pounds?
I guess this is my deathbed.
But so she comes and wakes him up and he takes her to breakfast. It's
Uh,
morning somewhere in the world.
I want this breakfast. This is a big old sloppy.
What is this hat she's
sloppy Kentucky Derby.
1948.
But it's
Brown
got like
derby.
the whole cut from the top of it.
Oh, was it?
Where it's her hair.
It's a visor.
Right? It's just
Yeah.
an all-around visor.
She's going golfing later. Well, sorry, frolfing.
Frolfing.
We're not getting into frolfing again.
Just accept it and
This
move
is, how
on.
sexual does that sound? Look, we're not going to frolf, all right?
I mean,
I'd
that
frolf
sounds like
with
a
you.
goofy way to have sex. First, we're going to hump, then we're going to frolf.
It has something to do with like twisting penises, but putting a ball through the middle.
Oh, God.
I was thinking of frog style.
That's something else. That's the twin tether ball.
I knocked down the twin tethers.
It
So
definitely
anyway.
was screaming.
Tugwell is waiting at this breakfast place. and
Speaking of tying dicks together, Tugwell's here.
Do you think he tugs well?
No, it's a family name. His grandfather got his way into this country by tugging.
and he pays off this diner guy to basically give Fred Ward this piece of paper that has some quote unquote runes on it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this works because, like, so the runes are what's going to make the demon target you.
Fred Ward didn't touch the runes, just the paper.
Correct.
As soon as he picked it
Okay.
up. So I think what he wanted, what Tugwell was expecting was he was not going to look at the check. Like he was just going to grab the check and look at it and then, oh, you already touched the runes. But what happened was he just kind of picked it up daintily for whatever reason, touched the paper, saw the runes, and then started grilling the guy.
Because he
Okay.
lives in a world of magic, and so he's cautious.
I
Yeah.
was like,
He knew
they're
what these
all
were.
touching it. All these people have
Everyone's
touched
touching
it.
the paper.
Okay, that makes sense, though. I didn't think about
But that one,
Okay.
that poor
I'm
cook.
kind of just trying to do some work.
Oh, that dishwasher.
Well, the dishwasher at least gets a show.
Yeah.
He doesn't get hurt. There's a fight in the kitchen. Fred Ward is fighting this fat diner guy.
If I stay this close to you, it's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, exactly. The cook is joining in. He's knocking everybody out. And I love that, like, Fred Ward is holding the paper and says something, and the guy is like, just was like, just touch the runes or whatever. And he like grabs it out of his hand. Oh, the dishwasher tries to take the paper,
Yeah.
and the diner owner grabs it, and he's like, oh fuck.
God damn it.
And then this pot starts boiling. The sides are busting out, which is pretty
This
cool.
is a fun effect.
This is really cool. This is one of the better ones in the whole movie.
Yeah, it is.
And this like
Pterodactyl
it's like
skeleton?
the logo from Birdhouse,
Uh-huh.
the Tony Hawk Skate Company.
Yeah, I was gonna go with like a baby Bambi skeleton, but
It's
I
a
like yours.
pterodactyl. It's a pterodactyl skeleton.
Yeah,
It's a lesser demon, we find out. It
A
comes
little
out
more
of this pot
equestrian.
of this disgusting pot. I understand that this pot is turning into a demon hole. But as it starts boiling, they cut to it, and the sides are already covered in shit.
Yeah.
Like the handles are. And I'm like, well, that's not new.
It's a 1948 Greasy Spoon Diner, dude. There's no health department.
That's fair.
Like I got a little sick off that food I ate here yesterday. But did you die? No. All right. You want a bowl of chili?
Well, then go somewhere else tomorrow, pal, because
Yeah.
it's the same chili. We've been having this batch going for 4 years.
You'll be back. You'll be one trip to the hospital. You'll be back.
The heat kills it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he kills the diner guy. Fred Ward and the dishwasher here lock it in the freezer, which I guess is enough to stop it.
Well, I think they just needed enough time because then the paper burns up.
Oh, right,
Because
right.
it wouldn't rampage on everybody. That would hurt the person that cast it if he stayed there.
It was still alive because the diner guy was still alive because we see him get up and come
that's
running
it.
at them.
That's
He's just
right,
like,
Silence of the Lambs style.
And then he dies.
And he just falls over dead.
Good blood on him too.
Yo, that's
good,
yeah.
I freaking love
Good
that.
makeup.
So we go to the police station because Fred Ward and Olivia have to go there to make their report about this diner guy getting mutilated. Luckily in this world, magic exists because I've watched so many things recently where it's like, well, we can't tell people what happened. They'll think we're crazy.
As you're walking to the police station, they have all kinds of weirder occult things going on.
There's that lady.
There's a little person being like seance,
medium?
exactly
Yes.
what Whitney said. She's got a planchette for a Ouija board. Like they're all it's very
There's
fun.
people just like lifting files out of cabinets and like floating them away.
Yep.
The typewriter
yeah.
is typing
So
itself.
this whole movie, like bartenders are making martinis with floating shakers and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I did like at the train station earlier, there was a person walking through and there was like 3 or 4 suitcases just floating behind him.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I was like, that seems easy.
So I'll tell you what, I'll start traveling again when magic is that I can snap and be somewhere else.
Yes, please.
Like if I can blink teleport, dude. Whew.
Well, you're in position.
Just imagine just imagine leaving Vegas super hungover and be like, all right, I'm ready to be in my bed. Ooh.
They can't allow that to
I like
happen
that.
because
Oh,
that's
damn it, I didn't pull my Murphy bed down. I just hit my ass on the ground again.
there's too many people who'd be weird about it. They're like, oh, I have to get to her bed.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this guy doing here? What is that guy doing here?
But
What is
that's
that
why
guy
you
doing
need
here?
that's why you need what do you call it? Charms, fetishes, things like that.
Well, I think that's the problem is he has fetishes. But this is where they're interrogating the werewolf. The werewolf was played by a guy that was in that movie Spaced Invaders you keep talking about.
Oh, okay.
A guy named James
Keep talking, but
Eusterman.
you talk about it 13 times in a week, and you keep talking about it.
He played a clown. I don't know if that's a normal, like a main character or a normal thing.
It's probably one of the trick or treaters.
Okay, I don't know. I just saw Spaced Invaders and I was like, well,
Yeah.
Jack knows that one. He's also a guy that does effects. So I don't know. He might have worked on this, but I didn't notice this one. It wasn't on his, like, it was harder to find because he had a lot
Right.
of effect stuff. He did do effects for Species, though.
he could only get
Oh,
a-
excellent.
He could
Yeah.
only get a credit for one thing. So he wanted to be an
No, they
actor.
can get credit for getting coffee.
No, they weren't going to pay him for that.
I do. He's talking. Fred Ward is talking to Bradbury after they take out the werewolf, and he's like, "You want a drink? What are we drinking to? Nothing. Just drinking."
Don't sit there. You get covered in fur. I say that at my house a lot.
But he's trying to convince him to come back to the Force, and he doesn't want to, and so they turn it into an interrogation.
Come back to the Force. Sorry. Come back to the Force.
You can't
I
say it
do
without
like-
doing Ewan.
I do like when
Alec
he's
Guinness.
asking him though. He's like, "Hey, does this client you're working for have a name?" He just blows smoke out. And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
That's a good.
We can do
that's a
this
good-
the easy way or the hard way.
No, he's actually got a good 50s way. This doesn't have
Oh,
to be
yeah.
a trip to the dentist.
That's right.
Like, doesn't have to be like pulling teeth. And he won't answer, so he puts the light on. He's like, cool, I could use the overtime. Have it your way.
And he still never answers.
And he gets rescued by fake Tim Meadows.
Uh-huh.
Who
It's
is
just for a second, I was like, Tim Meadows and
No, it did. I was thinking the same.
But you know
fucking
what,
thing.
though? It's 91, so Tim Meadows now has that beautiful salt and pepper. 91 Tim Meadows was no salt.
yeah. He's just looking like the Tim Meadows I've seen in various
Star
projects
Wars
recently.
stuff.
Star Wars. I was like, he was playing some kind of official
Yeah.
something.
But he also was the principal in the holdovers.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
Holdovers, yeah. So you've seen him in a couple things recently.
So the witch, this is her cousin, so they save him. She's telling him, Fred Ward, like, you got to leave town. Something, alignment, planets, something.
I'm going to Miami.
Yep.
Even though if this alignment happens and everything happens, the whole world is destroyed. So I don't know why.
You wouldn't notice in Florida.
Why would you? Yeah, I guess that's fair. I was about to say, why would you want to spend the apocalypse in Florida?
I am going to go to the
But-
place that is so fucked up that no one's going to notice that hell opened up on Earth.
But it's
You're
not
going
just,
to Yuma?
It's not just Florida. It's Miami. Are you telling me if someone was like, "Hey, let's go to Florida," or "Hey, let's go to Miami," one, you'd be like, "All right."
All right. She knows that it's the end of days. I'm going to go out in a bikini and coked out of my mind.
Yep.
I know a guy named Tony.
I also know a guy named Bernie. He's got a place around there.
Yeah, that's kind of like leading to that. He's like, I'm not leaving. I got a job to do. He takes Olivia home. David Warner's pissed that she was hanging out with Fred Ward. He's like, you fucking my daughter, basically.
Yeah.
You
He's like,
fucking my daughter.
no, she's 16. I'm the only person in this fucking town that seems to notice that.
Yeah, everybody's all about her nuts.
I mean, I
I
think
guess
it's,
she doesn't
I think
have
it's
nuts.
this thing that's always
No,
it's
that's
always
Lily.
been lost on me and maybe probably Derek too. But like an older thing was a virginal female was the sexiest thing an older guy could think of, right? Like
Yeah,
that is
because
something that
nobody's touched
sounds
it.
absolutely awful to me.
It's claiming steak.
Ugh,
It's.
God, I'd rather eat a steak.
yeah.
I had a collection of virgin.
Well,
ones,
I
so-
mean, different, a little
That's-
bit different.
We're not talking about formaldehyde jars, dude. We're talking about.
I don't want to know what's in your basement. But no, it's
You've
just
been
this.
to my basement.
It's this thing. I found the secret door.
Damn it. I need to move it from.
You had to say the line that nobody would ever say. No, thank you. I've had enough whiskey. Door just pops open.
Boom.
Oh.
Let's close it now.
He's talking a bunch of shit to him. Fred Ward is, and the David Warner's talking shit to Fred Ward, and Fred Ward's just like, look, do I come around here and tell you how to abuse your servants?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like my favorite thing, which is like, do I go to your job and slap the dick out of your mouth?
Uh-huh.
But it's more 40s.
I don't go to your job and tell you how to give a hand job. Hey, hand job is still a job.
We get that in this movie, kind of.
Yeah, we get a hand job, kind of.
There's a hand job joke. I don't think I wrote it down, though.
No, it was something about the job at hand.
Oh, yeah.
And then right into, well,
we
Tugwell.
turned it into a hand
Tugwell
job
is a
joke.
hand job joke just waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
My right-hand man is named Tugwell.
I didn't think about the right-hand man aspect. So then Lovecraft goes back to his office, and now Connie is waiting there, and he's like, can I just come home without some femme fatale hanging out in my
fucking dame in my office? Before that, but when he leaves Homeboy, he gives him all the information he needed to continue his world domination plan. Because he tells him, he's like, oh, it was Larry and...
Curly and Mo.
Curly and Mo all stole your Necronomicon. The Three Stooges stole it, and they're going to sell it to Clancy Brown. And that's when he's like, oh, you've been extremely helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll keep your services.
So, because that's what happens. I was confused at the end why these two are working together.
And that's what it was.
It's
He's like,
because
you gave me the idea.
Clancy Brown doesn't know enough magic. He isn't good enough at magic to use this book, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, look, I'll give you the book back, but I get to be the king of hell.
Pretty much.
That's kind of what happened.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That
So
makes
he
sense.
stole
Because I
it.
also was like, they were working together at some
So
point.
he
I don't
stole
know.
it just to ransom it then? Or he stole it and was like, ooh.
I think he
I
stole
think
it
he
because
stole
I
it,
think Clancy Brown
and then
wanted it because he was just like, I can use this to be powerful.
And then
vaguely.
Hackshaw was like, called up Clancy and was like, yo, I will help you. You can be the king of this world.
I need my book back.
I need my book. I need to ascend.
It was Larry and Morris Day or whoever that stole it to try to just ransom it.
Right.
Wasn't his name Morris?
It was Larry Lily is the one person, and Mikey.
Mickey, like Mickey Mouse.
Yes, Mickey Mouse.
Got it. Okay.
Okay,
So they were just idiots.
So Clancy and Hacksaw Jim Dugan were already working together.
No.
Hackshaw.
No.
No, that's
Clancy
what
and
I was
Hackshaw were
thinking. But
not
I think
working
this is
together.
where I don't
This
know.
is-
Turns out no one who wrote the script knows.
Yeah.
No, he says it at the end. He was like, I didn't even have the idea until you put it in my head that it was that Clancy wanted it. And so I called him up and I partnered with him. So he wants to be
That
the
makes
king
sense.
of hell.
The
Got
long
it.
run thing is that we know Hackshaw has been planning on doing this at least. He just needed
Yes.
his book back because he's been keeping his virgin daughter. He's got a Cthulhu
He had
baby.
to marry her
and
terrible
he's-
mother.
Yeah, he even says with disdain, I had to live with her mother.
He's
Ugh.
got a Cthulhu monster in his aquarium that
Yeah.
we don't see, which is disappointing.
Maybe the sequel. Because he goes, what? You're going to feed your squid? And he looks
It
and
is not a
snaps.
squid.
And snaps a look. It's not a squid.
But so Connie, Julianne Moore is at the office. They do a little back and forth chit chat. They fuck because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
that part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't see it.
Oh, no.
It's not Skinamax. It's HBO.
Come on.
It's like their
They had
old.
a
That's like their
manual
old
in space.
tagline. It's not television. It's HBO. Except for they're like, put away your dick. It's not Skinamax. It's HBO.
HBO nowadays shows all kinds of dick.
Yeah. Wiener, 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 wiener.
Blood and wiener, blood and wieners.
Hey, have you guys ever heard of Patreon?
I think I have.
Yeah, I think it's like a royal guard.
It's that maybe, but also it's a website where podcasters and other creators can get people to give them money for making their product.
You mean we can
on.
get paid for this?
Kind of. For a mere $3 a month, you, loyal listener, can feed or get drunk a starving podcaster.
I feel like we need some like Sarah McLachlan behind this kind of. I will remember you.
I almost did with arms wide open. I was like, that's not the song.
That's how you get people to not give you money.
So check it out. Patreon.com/worstpeople. That's WORSE. $3 a month. You get access to exclusive episodes. Find us, love us, support us. Thank you. But so then this is when the witch gives him a magic bracelet, which I guess doesn't really come to anything. So
It's supposed to protect his heart, so maybe it is the thing that controls the zombie.
Yeah, something
Or-
happened. I don't know.
and he's also assigned Grimaldi, the cop, to watch Olivia because he was Grimaldi was trying to fuck Olivia at the police precinct.
Yeah. Well, and he keeps
And
saying
he wants
that
wants him to watch her to keep her safe.
he
But he's
keeps saying the
apparently-
weird 50s lines like, what about that sweet tomato you were with earlier?
That she's 16.
Yeah. And you're married. We didn't know, but it doesn't matter. Even if you're single, this guy is conservatively a hard 24.
And that's where
Yeah.
we get the Grimaldi's all around the mulberry bush. Grimaldi chases the virgin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because she finds him
Almost shoots him with an arrow.
while she's hunting unicorns. Apparently, there's a lot of them out here.
Uh-huh.
And she takes him back to the house, and that's kind of the last we see of them until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's important.
I had thought that Fred Ward put Grimaldi on it intentionally, knowing you're a horn dog. Because I kind of called this as soon as
You
Clancy
did.
Brown says, you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to make sure you're a virgin, which is hard to find a virgin in Hollywood. Otherwise, the whole thing blows up in your face. I'm like, well, she's going to get fucked. And then that's when he said Grimaldi can follow her. I was like, oh, there it is. He did that on purpose.
But he didn't.
But he did
apparently.
not.
He's like, you shitty dog.
You dirty dog.
You horny piece of shit, you just saved the earth.
You saved the world by fucking a 16-year-old. Are you
Don't
happy?
tell my wife.
Don't tell my wife. Baby, I had to. Cthulhu was coming. The world depended on it. I had to bang her.
He finds Lily. Like, this is the whole part where we reveal that Lily is Larry or whatever his name is.
Just by
And
taking
when they're in
her
the
arrow.
hotel room, but when he's in Lily's hotel room, she's telling him about, or I guess it's he because it's Larry,
Yeah.
is telling him about how they're trying to summon the outsiders, which is like Cthulhu and the other elder gods and whatnot. The gargoyle bursts in and starts attacking them, and Fred Ward tries to shoot it, and his gun is empty.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, or did he shoot out
No,
all of his
he's-
rounds?
He shot it. He shot all the rounds. It was just fucking Rick. I mean, you're shooting a stone gargoyle.
Yeah,
So
I know at some point he was shooting with an empty gun.
yeah, that ended up happening after he had 6 shots in this.
so
little
so he
fucking
kicks it
thing,
in the nuts instead.
which worked.
Yeah, much more effective.
But we don't want to skip over the death because this gargoyle like just fucking across the room punches through this human,
This is where we get the
punching through them. There's giant.
Connie shows up for some reason, like when all this is going down, and then they end up going.
She was
back
with
to...
him, and he said stay in the
Oh,
lobby.
because she was in the lobby. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah, because
And they end up going back to her palatial hotel room estate, whatever
Uh-huh.
this is. And Borden, who is Clancy Brown, Tugwell, and the zombie are all there to
Talk about your
kidnap
Three
him.
Stooges.
because she called him in the lobby.
Yeah, and Tugwell gets drowned in a hot tub or a bathtub, which
Because-
is pretty
failed.
fun.
He failed.
failed.
He failed to get the book.
I just like that he's like, hey boss, wait. And the zombie stops and he's like, can we talk about this? He's like, no.
No,
Dunk. I'm like, what a bad way to die. Like, you're getting drowned, sure, but you literally can't do anything about it. Like, you're just being held upside down by a zombie.
by a huge freaking office building.
So this is when everything, like, they take them back out to these houses that we didn't really mention earlier. It doesn't really matter. There was a new construction housing. That's where the portal is.
And it's how he found out about the Lily, Larry, Mikey situation. Mickey.
But we find out on the drive that Clancy Brown is now working with Hackshaw to summon the evil gods. He does have, like, Fred Ward's always got a zippy one-liner, and most of them aren't good.
Uh-huh.
But Clancy Brown has a good one back to him. He's like, you're a funny guy. Maybe your last words will be a scream.
Oh, I get it. I didn't get it then.
Oh, okay. See, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, he's going to throw that back in Clancy Brown's face in a little bit when Clancy Brown's last words are our scream. But no.
And if
But
they
no.
don't succeed in this event tonight with the alignment of the wrong planets in the right place or whatever they said, that's another 666 years.
Very specific.
Very
number.
specific. So you gotta get it right, and you need a virgin. Otherwise, like you said, it'll all blow up in your face.
No virgin, big bada boom.
Look, if she's a virgin, it doesn't blow up in your face. Trust me. What?
Trust me.
Excuse me?
Trust me. I'm a magic cop.
So this monster that gets called upon
Stripped down turtle.
Well,
is,
before it comes out, Clancy Brown gets murdered. So we'll just mention that
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick.
she
Yeah.
shoots him.
He asks
He dies
Julianne
with a
Moore.
whimper, not a scream.
He asks Julianne Moore for a kiss for good luck, and she kisses him and shoots him and says good luck.
The
I'm
old
like,
love gun.
that's terrible. That's terrible.
So
luck.
this is a little 22. No,
No, but she has
this is
here.
what I want.
Yeah, much closer to that. The 380.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he summons up the demon.
Well, before that, we find out that she's actually the reason that Clancy Brown stopped being a cop in the first place.
Oh yeah.
She was the
so
dirty
back
one
to the
on
line
the
at the
beginning.
beginning. It all begins with a dame.
There we go.
Because
call
it
it
was
back.
it was
because she tells Fred Ward, you could never seem to learn that
A good cop
clean
was a bro
cop
cop.
is a poor cop or something like that. Yeah.
He knew that an honest cop was a poor cop, or that they're the same thing.
Honest cop. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
When he does start, the Hackshaw starts this summoning ceremony. This fucking gargoyle,
Hackshot Jim
whoever
Dugan.
this actor is just going to town.
Ham and cheese
on top of this building, just dancing back and forth, like doing fucking electric grapevine.
Doing
I don't
the
know,
jig,
like
dude.
I would say if you're in this costume, give them as much as you can. They'll edit out anything they don't want.
yeah.
But do this. Do
Definitely.
At
I
one
was
point, he
here
does
for
like a
it.
full-on line dance.
Yeah, by himself.
by himself. But he does all the steps.
Line dancing is what they called it in the 80s. Get a bunch
It's just
of cocaine,
dancing.
start dancing.
That's just my dance, sir. The earth opens up, and this wet butthole turtle slime thing comes out of it.
Oof.
Someone listening might even know there's probably a very Lovecraftian name for this exact creature.
Well, and they say something right before, like Ithos.
Oh no, but he
something.
says so many fucking names.
What
Dude,
is that? The
Cthulhu's
death
in
of
there as
10,000
well.
goats?
Yeah, no, there's one of these goats has 1,000 offspring.
Yeah.
The plan is that this
The
naked
only
turtle,
one I know is Cthulhu.
Yeah,
so.
that's the one I know. That's most people are very well versed with tentacle head.
And you know what? This thing looks okay. Like it looks like a decent monster.
It can't
but it's
articulate
supposed to
well.
be an elder god, and it just
No,
looks
no.
like a beached turtle.
I'm thinking different, dude. I'm thinking this is the just the doorway to the elder gods. It eats the virgin and opens up into whatever else can come through.
Okay.
It ate this guy instead because she's not a virgin, and what happened was
I'm hungry.
Yeah. No, it's like
it's a punishment for
it's
offering
every
it not a virgin.
666 years it comes up for one snack, and
Well,
then
no,
if you
'cause
don't
it
give it the
had
right
her-
snack, it eats you.
Oh,
I like
okay.
that.
I was like, because it had her and it was like not clean enough. I thought it was just like punishment. Like, well, fuck you, I'll eat you then.
That's what I think.
That's
Like,
what
look,
he's
you're
saying.
basically a virgin at this point. Last time you had sex was 16 years ago.
No, I think that's exactly it. Though, as a punishment, because it's sniffed like, no, doesn't smell like hymen.
But
I'll take your ass, Hyman. Get it over here.
We call that a behymen.
but there is like a whole celebration basically of Fred Ward being like, you dirty, filthy pedophile.
You
You
did
saved
it."
the earth.
You did it, you pedo!
Roman Polanski, you did it again.
You old chomo, you! Did you fuck that 16-year-old? Get over here, have a smoke on
They're
me.
gonna erect, and he does like the whole. I'm gonna pantomime, guys. Boom, erect. And like,
He shoves his forearm in the air and puts his hand on his
It goes
bicep
arm.
Yes.
to make a hard-on.
almost like "fuck you" movement in the.
Yeah.
What about Noah's Ark?
What do you do?
He shoves his forearm in the air and goes, arg.
You never put your magic fist in the air and went, ah!
And that's pretty much the end of the movie. There's some wrap-up stuff, but none of it matters.
Sure.
It really doesn't.
He sits in the back of a fucking car with Julianne Moore. We cracked up because Julianne Moore opens the back of the car and sits there like, what? That's not
not how this works.
That's not how cars work. But then we figured out women just can't drive back then. Like, you literally, I have to get out of here. Well, there's no one to drive the car for
The
me.
zombie's dead.
Guess I'll just wait.
Yeah, the zombie just died out of nowhere.
I
It
think
was his
'cause
time.
The magic
His
stuff
3
is
months
over.
were up.
Because this
He clocked
magic
out.
stuff is newish, it seems like, because it wasn't
Okay.
there before. So it might have something to do with
So this is 48. It came back from
yeah.
the Pacific. It came back from World War II. So it's
yeah,
very
with the
new.
gremlins and whatnot.
It's like they specifically say Pacific. They
Okay.
specifically say
Specifically say the Pacifically. But that's the end of that movie. So going around the horn, does anybody recommend this movie, wife?
Honestly, I don't care. I'm not gonna.
you
recommend
don't
it.
even care about your own recommendation.
No, I wouldn't recommend. There's some funny shit. It's Jack's caveats. It's always.
Well, leave them to
is.
me then.
Yes, I'm leaving them to you.
Stop stealing all my things.
Ugh.
Let's go take him first then. But no, I have to put on Jack's caveats. It was only entertaining because I had somebody I could laugh with.
Yeah.
And
I'll
drinking out.
say the same thing. Like, I wouldn't have enjoyed watching this alone. I do recommend it because I love Fred Ward, and I think there's a fun world.
He was
here.
amazing in it.
Oh, he's great. Fred Ward is. That's not carrying this movie, but he's doing the best in this movie.
He is. He's carrying.
But yeah,
it.
caveats. With friends, alcohol always helps. Maybe find a drinking game. But yeah, I recommend it if you don't have to spend money on it.
Every
Was this
time they say everybody uses magic, take a shot.
Oh man, you're gonna die. Is this hard to find?
Yeah, it's on Max. It's on Hulu with Max, Prime
So yeah,
with Max.
besides my classic
So it's on
caveats,
Max.
Fred Ward fans.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you really want, it's it's $3.99 to rent, $9.99 to buy on most of the platforms too. So if you don't have
and
Max,
it looked good.
It
the
did
way,
look
great.
good.
Like it did not look like a 91
No, it did
upscale.
not.
It was
No.
good.
It was widescreen and everything. I was expecting square frame,
You bet.
grainy image. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to do a soft recommend kind of with both of you guys. Like,
Yeah.
it could be fun. We couldn't partake in drinking very much because we have another recording to do immediately after
Yep.
this. I think it would have been more fun with
Was
more
I
alcohol.
supposed to slow down?
Yeah, I had to stop because I was getting drunk earlier in this episode. So I was like,
I'm gonna
cut it.
lean into it. I made a New Year's resolution to do more drugs and alcohol, and I'm getting
love it.
I'm getting an early start, guys.
So that'll be it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople. It's only $3 a month. You get a bunch of cool shit. And all the shit you've heard us mention in the past, it's all there. You're not just getting this month for $3. You get all of it. So go do that. Also, rate and review the show. I haven't said this in a while, but if you guys rate and review wherever you listen to it, it helps to increase people finding us, which means more listeners, which means we can create more content because maybe we'll make a couple bucks and I can buy some new shit.
Exactly.
Maybe I can finally get those shoes my feet need.
Thank you to Evasion for our opening and closing music. I have been Derek.
I'm still Whitney.
I'm Jaxie.
It's over for a lot of people, including us. Good night. That was the last line of the movie.
Well, he was also terrified of sea creatures.
Yeah.
I went on a
and air
deep dive,
conditioning.
guys.
And
I
air
went on
conditioning.
We learned that today. Whitney Googled H.P. Lovecraft, and we learned that he was afraid of air conditioning and immigrants.
But as I pointed out,
Much
it
like
was-
people from the South.
I mean, it's early air conditioning, so it would be terrifying sitting there in a hot day. Like, what the fuck is that? What is it pump? What kind of magic is pumping into the air to make it cool in here?
And also, to be fair,
To be
the
fair.
coolant they were using back then was probably giving everybody cancer.
True, he was right. He's also afraid of this thing called asbestos. That fool.